Alright, so I have very exciting news. Basically, I finally got an M2. This is my first car, and I've been enjoying it a lot. Now, I did have a white car. It was a 228i. So for this video, I'm going to be comparing the differences between the M2 and the 220i, and here are 5 things, the reasons why I think the 220i has over the M2. Now, this can not only apply to the 220i, this can also apply towards the 230i or even the M performance lineup, which is the M240i or the M235i. The first thing is daily use. The daily use between these cars is that I find myself that it is more comfortable to actually have the 220i versus the M2. The reason why is because the 220i does have a sporty suspension, but it does a better job for kind of absorbing the cracks and the what you feel on the road. The M2 has a completely different philosophy. The M2 is designed to make you feel one with the road, which is not a bad thing, because the M2 is really a driver's car in my experience. And I do love it so much, but sometimes you want that comfortability, but you have to sacrifice comfortability for that performance most of the time. And I do believe that the 220i does a better job of making you feel more comfortable. Going over the cracks and going over the bumps, it absorbs it better. The M2, when you go over it, the whole car literally rocks like a boat because it is so solid. I feel like it is well built enough to feel one with the road. And that's what I think. Next thing, number 2 is the subtlety of these cars. The 2 Series is already a small car and the M2 is a small car. And that's not a bad thing because in my experience, I love BMW as a small car. I had a 5 Series before and my parents drive a 3 Series, and I prefer the smaller cars from the BMW lineup. The M lineup is not a very, very subtle car whatsoever. They have wide fenders. The air ducts are very wide. They want to breathe in children, basically. The colors are different, especially in my color, it is long beach blue. Now that is really, 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 I guess the most common color for an M2, but in my opinion, it is one of the best. Before, I only wanted white M cars or white BMWs, and when I got this blue color, it was the only thing in the lot. I actually really loved it, and it kind of changed my mind that, oh, okay, well, different colors for different cars is not bad, and that's what changed my mind. Now, talking about the subtlety, the 220i is a little thinner, it's smaller, but at the same time, it still delivers that sporty look to it, and that's really good. That's what BMWs are for. BMWs are meant to be subtle, and they're meant to also be sporty, but the M lineup is more performance aggressive oriented, which is what is designed for. The M cars, the M2 really gets a lot of attention from people. The 220i, maybe I get maybe 1 or 2 looks maybe per month. The M car, literally 10 people look at it every time I drive. And if you like that, then go ahead and get an M2. If you don't like that, go ahead and get something more subtle like a 2 Series or a 3 Series. Third thing, gas usage. Oh my gosh, I literally keep throwing in money and it keeps sucking in more in gas every time I drive. I'm not sure if it's the way I drive. I do drive kind of fast, but at the same time, it's really fun to drive. And I looked at the miles per gallon on the 2 Series. It gets around 22, 24 miles per gallon. With my M2, however, it gets 13 to 16 miles per gallon. And the M2 is only a inline 6, but my 5 Series, which was a V8 a long time ago, got around 15 miles per gallon. So I'm not sure about that, what's going on. But the 220i does really strive in terms of having that much power, but at the same time, you're able to get a good gas mileage. And that's something that we cannot look over, because you know, for that performance and that gas mileage, that's really perfect. You know, the 2 Series is a fast car. It's not slow. I'm telling you that right now. The M2 is just plain old fast. It really is really fast. But it does in a way where it can be somewhat a momentum car at the same time. Now, the 2 Series is designed to be small and an entry level vehicle, but in my opinion, it is one of the best cars that BMW is able to make. Uh, um, right next to, like, you know, like the M4s and the M6. Um, Overall expenses. The M2 uses Michelin Super Sport tires, and it uses very big brakes, which has a lot of stopping power, and it uses a lot of gas. Again, has different oils. Um, Needless to say, these are expenses of which was required for these cars, and I don't mind paying that. But the 2 Series is has a cheaper tires, cheaper brakes. Obviously, it's not a race performance, the best in its class kind of thing, but it's more than perfect for the road. And you know, and this brings me to my number five point. Um, Overall, I think that the 2 Series, the 220i, is more than perfect for the road. It's fast, it's saves gas, it's really small, very subtle, and that's perfect as a daily driver, which I felt like it was designed to be. The M2 is designed to be more of a track use, performance oriented car, which it was also designed to be. But at the same time, a lot of people that get these cars don't go on the track, and um, you know, we just love these cars, but I'm keeping it in the garage, but I drive it every maybe twice a week. And that's one thing to know, that, you know, when you have a daily driver like the 2 Series, you can really appreciate how much it actually has as opposed to M2. The M2, you want to keep it and baby it and stuff like that, like what I'm doing right now. But with the 2 Series, it's more than perfect. It has like heated seats, has more options. Literally, the 2 Series has more options than the M2, which is kind of weird. I don't know why they did that, but I believe that the 2 Series, if you aren't going to go on the track and you just want to carve up some roads, canyons, and stuff like that, the 2 Series between the 220i and the M240i, those are perfect cars for those type of conditions. If you're going to go on the track every once in a while, or if you want to show off and you want to have the best car in its, you know, its class, like the M2 or the M3 or the M4, the M5 and the M6, you know, all that, I believe those are perfect cars for you. Now, always take into consideration that there's an M tax. M tax meaning that there's at least a 30 to 50% more in terms of your cost as opposed to a regular BMW. But obviously, whoever gets stuff like this, they don't really mind because they love the cars. So overall, I do love my 220i, and I love the M2 more, but there's always going to be that uses for the 220i that is always better than the M2, with all these points that I've told you guys. So again, I'm going to be doing more videos on the M2. I finally got it, and honestly, it really is a great car. I do miss my 228i, but obviously it's time to move on, and I'm going to do more videos on this car. So I hope you guys have a great day, and please like the video, and I'll catch you soon.